a little charcuterie board before we get into the actual nibbles. But let's go ahead and take a chunk out of this first matchup. Fury team coming into this that have had, in my opinion, obviously it's not my opinion. They've had the most appearances internationally over the last 12 months from the Asia region, and obviously at SI we got super pumped for them. We were excited to see what they could do, but day one just didn't deliver. Mandy, is that just the opening day nerves?
I think so, to an extent. I think it's opening day nerves, and I also want to comment on them being SI attendees as well as Bleed. They do, I would say, suffer from a little bit of that post-event fatigue, as I think a lot of the teams across the global standings have as well. I think it's pretty normal to come back into your stage and just feel a little bit shaken up in the readjustment back into your own region. And I think for Fury, like, yes, they have dropped the ball against Jolita, and that might be a little nervous, but to be honest, I don't really see that as these big red flags just yet.
Sure. I think it is important to make sure that we don't get too far ahead of ourselves in these discussions, Dev. Obviously, as Mandy's prefaced, they went up against a pretty fearsome opponent yesterday, but now they're going to have to do one better. They're going to have to go up against, do we just call them the reigning champs?
Bleed? No, because Fury are the reigning champs. Like, objectively, you look at stage one last year, that's the thing that, like, obviously we credit Fury for what they have achieved in appearing at the most majors and SIs in the last year. But the other thing is that they are reigning champs, right? They came first in the LCQ in Stage 1 and Stage 2 last year. And once again, this dog over here is clearly a massive Bleed fan, because every time I try and shill for Fury, she's got something to say about it. Sasha, we'll talk about Fury in a minute, about Bleed in a minute. I want to put it on Fury for this one. I really do.
I just want to hear it a little bit longer, just while we've got that opportunity to. Obviously, Bleed, the discussion turns a little bit. I would like to actually clarify, they did come first in the Southeast Asia League. I just want to make sure that I say that. But Mandy, the roster really got off to a shakier start than I think they would have intended for. However, they definitely made amends for that on a 7-round in a row comeback.
Yeah, I think they definitely gave everyone a bit of a scare, whether they gave themselves a scare or they were having a laugh about it. I don't really know. This team is a bit strange when it comes to that kind of thing. It's really hard to read just how much they've put their hearts into that one. But alas, they did make a 7-round comeback. They closed it out in the fashion that we expected them to, despite scaring us a little bit.
It gave us something to look forward to, I guess. It shows that the Goliath can definitely be... they can be wounded, but taken out entirely, that's a completely different story. It could well happen today. You are talking about number 1, number 2 in the region. You're talking about the two teams that were on the tip of our tongues most last year. So who knows? Anything could happen. But Dev, it does feel like Bleed are going to be the safe bet for Asia moving forward.
Yeah, everyone seems to be thinking that, and the main reason is just their impact on the international stage. And if you look at, obviously, the domestic results within the LCQs, yeah, Fury always seem to get the better of Bleed. But if you look internationally, Fury got 21st to 24th in Copenhagen, so that's a tied last. 17th to 20th in Atlanta, which is a tied second last. And 13th to 16th in Sao Paulo. Bleed, in contrast, their very first event in the international stage tied 9 to 12, and then at SI 9 to 12 again. So Bleed have had a markedly improved result on those international events. They've taken down a lot of big hit teams as well at those events. But I also think that narrative is starting to change for Fury as well. Like, if you look at SI, they managed to take down Los, the runners-up from Atlanta. They managed to take down Falcons and Scars, and they only lost, like, they still won a map off of NIP. They still won a map off of Team Bliss, so I don't want to discredit Fury. I do think that we do have a bit of rose-tinted glasses with Bleed, because they are kind of the new kid on the block last year when they started to impress us. So I think we have a little bit of bias. And I think that this game is a lot more balanced than perhaps most people think.
I would totally agree with you there. I think that we've seen the consistency from Fury come through all the way back in, God, what feels like a lifetime ago, when we had 2021 bumping around. They were in there. They were competing every single stage. And look, things have changed since then, obviously, but it looks like they're still on top. So this will be a close match. Do not get this twisted. This is going to be one that is decided by the maps. No, I don't know. I'm just trying to storyline here.
You're
Let's go
trying
ahead
to
and have a
segue
look
in.
at the vetoes. I tried to segue in and didn't work as well. But look, I ultimately at the end of the day, sorry, that border ban coming out from Bleed, that makes me laugh a little bit, Mandy.
We lost 4 rounds in a row yesterday. Yeah. I look. I think you've got to know when to cut your losses, and they've cut their losses very early here. We head to Skyscraper. Wow. Okay, so that's gonna be the matchup for us here. I think. Look, to be honest, Dev, if two teams are gonna play Skyscraper, if two teams are gonna go head to head on this map, these are the two you want. Yeah, this is a really exciting prospect, especially for Bleed fans out there. These guys are actually on a 6-game win streak on Skyscraper, including taking down Virtus Pro, VP, at the Six Invitational. Yeah, only, the best European team in the world right now, more or less. Like, that is a huge scalp to have taken. They took down Sonics on this map in Atlanta as well. So a lot of really massive teams that Bleed have been able to dominate on this map. This is one of their favorites, without a doubt. On the flip side for Fury, they played it a few times internationally. They beat Scars. It was a very close game. They beat Knights, the South American roster at one point. But they did lose as well in their most recent game, which was at SI to NIP. And that was a fairly convincing 7-3. So on paper, this is absolutely a Bleed map, and they're probably extremely happy that it's gone to Skyscraper.
There is that discussion in there as well, Mandy, that if it is so heavily Bleed, do Fury have something cooked up? Question mark?
I want to hope that they do. I've been thinking about how much this means for Fury if they actually lose this one out. And I think in the long run, it doesn't really change their capacity to get into playoffs, but it does change their likelihood to then get that 1-2 seed, right, and actually skip through the first round of that playoffs. And I think when you're in such a tight-knit league, do you really want to be taking Bleed to a map that they're so proficient on? Not really. It does make me worried for Fury.
Yeah, and I guess there is also that conversation that we come back to about the fact that, you are seeing this as a round robin, top 6 go through to the GSL format. So it does change a little bit when we start contextualizing that. Both teams have banned out their first day map, and it was both teams that actually banned it out. So Bleed, of course, banning Border, and then Oregon being banned out by Fury. So maybe we could be seeing something from Fury here, just testing the waters, seeing what things might be like when we get to the latter stages of this stage. But it is time for us to welcome in our two commentators for tonight. Well, they're just part of the crew, I guess, at this point. Gone with the white-collared shirt, Jake. I like it.
Yeah, and Guz tried to match me with whatever that is. It's like white shirt with some waffles.
Yeah, we're in the cardigan phase at the moment. It gets a bit cold late at night, so I don't have Jake to spoon me, so it's the cardigans for me. Yeah.
It seems quite fitting considering both of you are professional wafflers. But guys, this matchup really is it's proposed to be first versus second, no matter which way you want to cut it. This is probably the match of the round robin stage.
Yeah, I think they both go in probably earning that title, and historically we've seen them go toe-to-toe in the past. As James alluded to, often though it is Fury to get the edge in really important games, but Bleed tend to clean up in matches that perhaps don't have as high stakes. So for me, that's why I went with Bleed heading into this game, albeit yesterday was a little bit concerning, but they've played the Veto perfectly. I'm very confused as to why we're on this map, just as you guys were mentioning. So it's going to make Fury look very, very silly if Bleed wipe the floor here, but hopefully it's close.
But it could also make them look silly if they do the opposite and come out all guns are blazing, mate. You just don't know. It's the Asia League. But one thing I do know is the game is almost ready, so we'll let you two have it.
Thank you, Robert. Yes, it's a big game. Probably an easy one to say the best of the night to come. And hopefully it plays into that. We obviously saw Bleed yesterday. Got off to a very, very slow start, losing the opening 4 rounds to Hesib Warriors. But a lot of that was very much down to their opponents, guys. I thought they played quite well. And then it's also very easy to kind of say about Bleed's mental that, hey, they were able to actually overcome that and then win 7 in a row. I think actually puts them in a really good position tonight where it's like, hey, we saw what can happen if we kind of play a little bit lax. So we're not at 100%. Let's start strong tonight against Fury.
Yeah, probably forcing them into gear a little bit after what was a disappointing start over on Border, but then to flip that 7 rounds straight, I think they'll be quite impressed with that result. And Fury look a little bit weakened. Don't forget, they lost to Jalita in OT cleanly at that 8-6 last night. So for Bleed, I think this is a really good opportunity. If they smell blood in the water on a map as strong as Skyscraper, for them to really put on a dominant result here and make a statement.
All right, so to Skyscraper we go. Obviously, a continuation from yesterday. It's still group stage. It's still best of ones. Essentially glorified seeding for the playoffs. But I think for Bleed themselves, getting off to a good start here is going to mean quite a lot for them, considering what we saw yesterday. Fury as well, wanting to find a win, offset the loss yesterday. So there's a little bit riding on this particular game. Then you actually bring in the rivalry between these two teams, as mentioned on the desk, as alluded to as well by yourself, that, you know, there's always a little bit in it when it comes to Fury versus Bleed. The big qualification matches, Fury have done well against Bleed. Every other time, Bleed have been the better team and typically also do better at the international events themselves. They definitely go into this as the favorites. That is Bleed, of course. I think Fury are a good team, but I think Bleed are a great team, and that's going to be the difference in this matchup, as we do head to Skyscraper as well. Certainly a map that they should be very fond of.
Yeah, keen to jump into this one. Of course, a reminder perhaps to everybody watching, we do also have Korea on at the moment over on Rainbow Six Bravo, and I've had word that the very highly anticipated PSG versus D+ game, which much like this game is probably first versus second, D+ able to walk away with an 8-6 OT victory in that game, so PSG's first loss of the stage. And obviously Korea probably still trailing in the footsteps of what Asia's been able to establish as of recent, but yeah, an interesting storyline rather, nonetheless. And again, constantly, I feel like because we cover all the sub-regions of APAC, we're constantly sort of comparing them to one another and where they're at the moment. So eager to see how this matchup compares to what I've been told was a very, very chaotic match between those two over in South Korea.
Yeah, just waiting apparently on one person to make their way into this particular game. Unfortunately, they've gone off to the toilet, so great timing. And we just kind of just sit here with this beautiful scenery heading into Skyscraper. Really difficult, obviously, to ascertain as to probably who's going to take this game. It's easy to say who's the favorites. It's going to be Bleed. Is there a world in which Fury find victory here, though, on Skyscraper against the Bleed team that won 7 rounds in a row yesterday after a very slow start? What's essentially it going to take for Fury to win this game? That's the biggest thing. Like, they're on the attack first. That's already going to be difficult as it is. Bleed very much are a team that likes to be very aggressive on the defense. They'll deny entry positions. They'll make those choke points very difficult to overtake them. So what do Fury need to do on the attack? Is there a world in which on Skyscraper they can kind of dictate the game a little bit and catch Bleed off guard? It's not like Border. I think Border you could probably do that. But Skyscraper is a little bit more difficult and far more of a challenge, as the Deimos gets banned out immediately by Bleed.
Yeah, for me, it probably comes down to two things. One is the mental fortitude of Fury. They should be going in with the expectation, even if they're super confident that this is going to just naturally be a very, very difficult half. Skyscraper attack, it's always a challenge, especially against a team that you're evenly matched with, and the expectation being that these two are quite close. Secondary to that, for my eyes, it's going to be on the attack, either isolating key players, key star players, like your Reaps, for example, or Turd if he's having a good day, either dedicating resources and going all in, try to clear them out, or doing your best to avoid them. I think, unfortunately, last night we saw Hasib probably play into the latter, trying to avoid them, and it kind of got a little bit messy and unraveled their chances in being able to close out that game. So we'll see how Fury deal with it here in this matchup, not allowing one or two players on the defense to really dictate pace, especially on entry.
All right, well, Banface done. Into the game we go. Bleed on the defense to begin. Onus will be on them to do well here in this first half. Expectations already are plenty for them as well as a team, and certainly it was a very startling sight to see them under siege yesterday against the Sib Warriors, but they bounced back. I mean, that's really all you can kind of ask if you are going to start slow, lose the opening 4 rounds, go and win the next 7. And it really does kind of alleviate the pressure, and that's what they've been able to do now heading into their game tonight. obviously the shorter of the turnarounds when it does come to these two teams. Considering Bleed played the very last game yesterday, now playing the first, whereas the Fury got to play the first game yesterday and also once again now playing the first. They've got a little bit extra of a break, but it's all basically nothing in the grand scheme of things. Tank is going to be very much a focal point. It has been a very big focal point, I think, throughout the stage across regions. If you can play it well, it is incredibly powerful and difficult to deal with.
Yeah, certainly can be, and has been, I don't want to say necessarily a consistent ban, but has been a prevalent attacking ban already here for stage 1 2024. Teams definitely realizing that it's value to be extracted from the shields, and on the most recent patch as well, the blitz animation has been fixed too, so the feet are covered when crouched. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we also see blitz play and full bans at some point, especially as teams and individual players get more proficient on that particular operator. Does just alleviate some of the pressure and map control that the shield can take, and you can also free up your composition defensively as well, because you're not necessarily forcing the likes of the Legion and other trap operators, which we're not actually really seeing here from Bleed this time around. So they don't probably have the best of lineups to deal with the Monty. Instead, it's going to come down to working together, establishing crossfires, and just trying to mitigate the amount of ground that low balls can take.
Yeah, very much going for that aggression over towards Axie and Office. Crit J with a lurk through House Loppy. That's a wonderful snap headshot onto Asfi, and bullets with a pistol as well, with a very similar result. And that's a quick double kill to begin. Reaps gets aggressive at the window. He too will fall, and then BG Man with the pistol too. And the round is over. Bleed wanting to get aggressive at the entry points, as you would expect on Skyscraper, but Fury just sharper. In all of the shots, in all of the fights, they were able to just lock it straight in. Full white for turn, flawless round. Great start for Fury.
And it wasn't even flawless in the ceremonial sense in which everyone was alive. They actually just broke down every little part of that attack really well. Two players on the Office extension, both put on islands, and the Monty able to isolate that. Any remaining defenders that then tried to assist or escape were then held on the double window upside down repel, so you're not going to win that fight, and netted 2 more kills for Fury. And then in the 1 versus 5, Turd dealt with very, very handsomely the last player left for Bleed. So at every single point in that push, Fury played their cards right. Bleed, again, probably didn't, in my eyes, have the best composition to deal with it, and also positionally wasn't that sound either. They paid the price for it, and so they'll have to quickly switch on. Again, attacking rounds should be coming at a premium. So this isn't a story of like last night, right? Where we could probably sit here and be like, okay, at some point, Bleed might be able to mount a little bit of a comeback. If they lose the first few rounds, it's going to be really, 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 and it should be really, really costly on a map like Skyscraper if you get off to a slow start defensively.
We've already seen so far, though, that for Bleed, as yesterday, of course, not that long ago, got off to that slow start, they were able to rebound. And obviously, it's early days, 1 round in. You don't oversell the fact that they did start slow, brought it back, but it is something to kind of keep in mind. It's very easy to sometimes get too overhyped over 1, 2, 3, even 4 rounds, apparently, and think that that's going to solidify the match itself. There's always that comeback potential for Fury, though. Great start, and the fashion in which they won it as well. I'm not sure if we've lost sound altogether, but yeah, right now, no sound. There we go, it's back.
Reloading.
As long as they can continue to play that confidence for Fury's sake, you know, peeking these windows, taking these fights, not feeling oppressed by the defensive lead, they can certainly find some success as BG Man. Another opening kill onto Asfi, the mute, dealt with. Over towards Geisha window now on the exterior for I9. No one holding it directly. A couple of players obviously close by, but again, a great start for Fury. Now they can open this up, get entry in towards Geisha, and eventually then go for that map-wide sweep across. The drone in now from I9, successful. And with that entry being made, Reaps is, of course, now kind of brought into action, baited out by the drone. No one there, though, to go for the kill. He will rotate. Now watching. In fact, straight back in towards Makeup and gets in an aggressive position. I mean, no surprise from Reaps. This is what he's capable of. Back himself in, take these fights. Turd wanted to do the same. He lost his, though. Mentalist able to get a kill, but Reaps eventually overwhelmed in Geisha. An easy swing from the window for Dark, and suddenly Bleed on the back foot for the 2nd round in a row. Fury have been able to dominate the exterior gunplay, winning out these balcony fights.
Yep, Fury really not even having to get their feet inside of the building this time around to get these picks. And despite the desync a little bit there from the Fury attack, they still had enough pressure applied, forcing plays to be forged by the defense that they weren't favorable. Reap's a prime example of that inside of Geisha, and then it's a pretty free kill for Fury, not necessarily having to force him back into the repel like we saw last time, across back towards the objective. Hoven, though, does respond with at least one. Eventually, though, forced back as that ground's now taken by the attack. Mentalist Dragon, so they have both sides covered. Fury, though, should be able to deal with this. I will say, though, with only one flash in pocket, it does risk making this a little bit more challenging for them, as trying to dislodge this particular position, especially from Mentalist, can be a challenge.
30 seconds remaining in the round. Numbers advantage with Fury. Nitro Cell available, though, for Mentalist. I9 wants to go for a quick entry here. Can open up and rotate very quickly with that skeleton key. Mentalist wins out a Dragon. Still out in the repel, though. Not ideal for the second. Blevin, what a shot from BG, man. On the upside down repel, he gets the head onto Hoven. Down to just now Mentalist in the red time. BG, man, has made his way in with the diffuser. There is that Nitro Cell. Ripped and thrown, but not thrown. Oh, never mind. Not blown up until the last second. I9 was just standing there. That was a strange end to the round. It's like I9 just basically submitted to his fate. He didn't try and shoot it. He didn't try and run away. He just held the angle, maybe anticipating Mentalist would swing off it. Yeah, that was a strange finish, and then all that happening, and BG Man's not sticking to plan.
Yeah, it should have been a Fury round. Plant needed to be stuck there, and then it should have been as simple as just holding down the angle in towards front office. They knew that Mentalist was there from earlier on, and I find it hard to believe that he would have had a Nitro lineup without exposing himself to that line of sight through the doorway, which could have been held by the second player. So Fury let that round slip. Don't know exactly what happened up there in terms of determining if they wanted to go for the plan or the kill. I think maybe they got caught in a little bit of a strange middle ground. And Mentalist as well, that was not the cleanest Nitro Cell. He was exposed for a long period of time, so if we were holding that angle, it was a pretty simple kill to clean it up and win it in terms of eliminating all the defenders. So yeah, this is shaping up to be an intriguing game. Fury certainly not perfect. Prone to mistakes as shown in that most recent round. It wasn't quite as clean as round one. So good work from Bleed. They were able to withstand that storm. The early round was disappointing. They need to not be forfeiting picks. 2 players on repel on our defense-like windows. It's simply not acceptable at this level of play. They'll know that, and I'm sure they'll adjust their playstyle accordingly.
They get a massive reprieve though by still being able to win that round. So you get the learnings. Get another beatdown in that exterior balcony battle, but you still get the round win. That just relieves the pressure ever so slightly for Bleed. Fury, though, with that, have certainly got themselves confidence, though. BG Man now 5-0 with that kill onto Turd. Timing was perfect.
That was a
Obviously was able to stay alive at the end of that last round due to the timeout, which is why he's still on 0 deaths. As for Tedster, though, 0 kills. He was like many of Bleed that had an awful start to yesterday, but then brought it back. I think this is the case where Bleed can sometimes double down with their aggression. You can see what Mentalist is probably wanting to do with the potential run out. Reaps gets a kill back onto Dark at least, and that's a big kill onto the Grim, but this is where Bleed have kind of got to watch themselves a little bit to not over-aggress.
Yeah, Turd was incredibly hot and cold yesterday. There were a couple of times where he was getting shot and dying and simply was looking the other way, caught off guard, but then there are also plenty of times where he was actually a clutch factor for the team. So hopefully he can find some form for Bleed, bolster their chances and being able to be a little bit more proficient early round. 4v4 though, so halfway point. Fury look to pivot a little bit here. Shield top black stairs. Lycole's has that diffuser in hand. Legion though now in play from Bleed. That's utility that Lycole's now needs to be super conscious of. Hoven, we saw earlier, rotated onto the stairs itself, so the cross established here with Reaps.
No.
Good positioning from Bleed. Reed, Hoven traded though, so pretty switched on from I9. Reaps now close, shotgun, also slain. 2v2, minute 10 on the clock.
Scrappy round. Only 2 drones remaining, by the way. It's still 2 logic bombs. Crit J throwing one out. Not a lot of drone available. I mean, actually, the final 2 drones remaining are both from BG Man, so you can play off of that with a minute remaining. Mentalist over towards Drum. Anticipated the push from down below, which is where Crit J is currently holding. Good position here for Mentalist. Shotgun, close range on the stairs. Belt cam shot out by BG Man. Kit close by top black. And a 2-on-2 now. I think Mental is very much on that read in terms of where Critch is kind of down below, moving around 32nd. Asfi in a good position. Geisha watching down that hallway. He's got good lines of sight covered. Gas Babe thrown out by Mentalist. Not a lot of time remaining. One final logic bomb will be able to ring out from Crit J. Executes that now. Asfi watching. Waiting for BG Man. And he's made the cross. Done so successfully. Crit J now making his way in towards Geisha. Can't win the close fight. Asfi does. BG Man got one. But then the trade eventually from Asfi. Holding strong towards Geisha. Gets the round win for Bleed. 2 in a row for them.
Yeah, good work there from Asfi. Didn't mind what we saw there from Fury in the 2v2 clutch attempt. Instead of both just trying to hit top black and go for something pretty linear, they did try to split it, come from both sides. You win that first fight, again, you're more than likely going to be able to trade out the second. It really did come down to like Nisha hold. Rewinding though, there's so much action over towards this top black stairs position. Monty looking the wrong way, so like Colas loses his life and was very snappily traded and then reaches under a lot of pressure, found his one, then also taken down. So the trade game from both teams there in the third round was really, really clean. Good work from both rosters. Unfortunately though for Fury, Asfi just a little bit too sharp very late in that round. And with time dwindling again and perhaps lack of information is highlighted, Drone's also wearing thin. It just makes things a little bit tricky there for Fury.
Attackers have discovered the location
Now
of a bomb.
succumbed to some of the pressures that come with attacking this map.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left.
Hey, good response from Bleed. Opening round for Fury. Flawless. Very strong.
Attackers are
Probably
heading out
should have
to
won the
defuse
second
bomb.
round. Bleed were able to hold out. But once again, despite a no 3 start, backing himself in to go for these aggressive plays. In this skyscraper, you do need to play like this if you want to find results in the defense. It's just the natural way to play it. And if you play scared and you play on site, you're probably just going to forfeit map control and entry positions and eventually get overwhelmed.
Loading back!
Also playing the Solus, and as kind of mentioned in that last round as well, Fury had like 2 drones remaining with over a minute on the clock, so decent drone economy for the side of Bleed in shutting down Fury's information game. I9 with a little slip in towards Lounge on the entry from Office. Now can start to make their way through these choke points to eventually get themselves a bit of that top floor hold. Vertical pressure. Colas in towards Dragon, nice and free. So far, no real collision between the two teams, but soon enough they will most likely meet over towards T-Room and Karaoke.
Asfi and Drum as well. Perhaps in a difficult position to cross now in the face. Monty keeping barriers though to provide additional cover for this position with magnets replenishing. U2 may prove to be a challenge here for Fury, so they need to look to play around this Monty efficiently and effectively. Cole playing quite passive at the moment and now push forward. Pings out that there's 2 players up ahead. Let's see how Fury look to break this down.
Yeah, and still plenty of time here as well for Fury. You've got like calls that can eventually allow you entry in towards this top floor position. I9 just gets blown up by Reeds with that Nitrocell. Bleed haven't really found too many openings in these rounds so far in the half, so that's good signs that Reeds was able to find that over towards the Battle of the Stairs, and Asfi wins out. Big couple of moments now for Asfi in the previous round, now into this one. Like Colas on the Montauk has not really been able to overwhelm these players. Great angle from BG Man though. He is having a tremendous game so far. And just breathes a bit of life back into the round for Fury as Reaps also will fall. And suddenly it'll be a 3-on-3 with over 40 seconds remaining.
Still though, I'm a little bit concerned about Fury's ability to get Vert here and also hold flanks. So yes, it's been okay from them to chip away at this extension, but it is only an extension. Sight down below, Reaps finally cleaned up. So 30 seconds, 3v3. Mental still 2 goo mines, so there's a util available here for the defense. You can see they're playing positions that aren't exposed to any potential Vert as well. So we'll see if BG can drop, get plant down. Maybe like Coles can go deep with the shield.
15 seconds remaining.
Not a lot of time. There's the drop.
Attackers have
Trying to get behind the shield. Actually got ran into though. Made life very difficult. Mentalist got that free kill. Can eventually go for a peek. Doesn't need to rush this though. Running around the map. Oh, he just gets caught. Turd. A little overzealous. Little info on where Dark was going to play from. puts a bit of pressure now to Mengelis and Asfi to deal with this Montang. Easy kill for Lycolis, and Asfi knows he needs to retake up above, which is where Dark has come from. Turd has thrown this round into disarray. They had no idea where Dark was going to go. A 3-on-2 wasted for Bleed. Well played and executed from Fury.
Yeah, the pieces required there for Bleed just not in the positions that they needed to be in the late round. Just showing a little bit of weakness there on the tertiary site. Smiles all around for Fury. They've reached the benchmark now for Skyscraper attack, 2 rounds. Next to House Money, of course, on the primary site, so we'll see how they go there.
I mean, the way I look at that ending of the round, and I kind of want your thoughts on it as well, but you're on a 3-on-2. One of them is the Montang planting. So in terms of threat level, it's very low. Like, yeah, he's going to get plant down. You don't like that. Brings the timer, etc. But with your numbers, you can retake above very easily and overload that solo player, either playing stairs or playing up above, with the 3 players that you've got, and then make your way back down below and deal with it. Turtster just runs and just like holds W and dies. And with that, you lose a big advantage in the round.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think as we entered that sort of last 15 seconds, I made the point that Monty likely is going to drop, try and go deep and or plant. And it was going to inevitably expose Vert, especially when it's only 2 players left on the attack and no dedicated flank watch. So, yeah, it was a little bit perplexing. Lee did a good job at this portion when it came to holding the horizontal, above, drum, main, both played well. Yeah, at this point here, Turd just running straight through. There was an opportunity there to flank up Black Stairs. Again, you may have been playing for information that was preset by the attack, so that's something that you have to manage. You have to assess that risk factor, but yeah, it was a little bit strange. Bleed didn't have, in my eyes, the correct systems in place to deal with that particular plant position. So
10 seconds left
Well,
before insertion.
2 attacking rounds now for Fury puts them in a really good position.
5 seconds to go.
Really, really good position. This game gets now
Attackers are heading out
quite
to the
fast at any
bomb.
point. How many rounds realistically do you need Skyscraper attack in this kind of meta, in this era of Siege? 2's not that bad, and you've still got 2 more rounds, 2 more opportunities. And the fact that for Fury right now, they're doing it on both ends. Like, you've got the opening end, which is the balcony play, the entry window play. They've done well in dealing with that aggression from Bleed, but then also now starting to get plants down, executing site. And so you go back to that second round as well, and arguably should have won it. So with the 4 rounds that have played out, they've been the better team 3 out of the 4 rounds. That's quite concerning for a Bleed team on the defense of Skyscraper. And not hide it any other way. Over towards Office and Exhibition, playing with that soft left wall. Mentalist holding close on the mirror. Interesting setup. Makes it a little bit annoying for Fury to obviously try and play off of this main breach. NitroCell 2, of course, available from this position. 2 in total for Bleed on the defense, but a couple of ways to navigate this, and there is one of them. Through bedroom for I9. BG Man still out on the rappel, along with a lot of the Fury members. All of them.
I mean, sooner rather than later, Bleed need to have a read on this, or they will have a read on this. Turd is on the other side of the map, on the Solis. He's going to be seeing no drones over there, and sooner rather than later, we'll know that it's a full stack, and they'll, again, likely be expecting everybody to be playing around the 1-2 shields. So, again, it's going to come down to just responsiveness here for Bleed, their ability to deal with said shield. No lesion this time. So let's see if that's a complication. Burnt down below. Will this prompt aggression from the likes of Turd on that roam to try and test? Dark is assisting though. He's alongside through delivery. So they have their bases covered. The leader are going to elect not to aggress down below and instead try and hold the site. But like Colas, he's already in said site. But full vision with that mirror window as you mentioned before.
Yeah, a little bit in a tricky position as well, and low on health. The Adrenal Surgeon from Crit J can help a little bit, and he helps with more than just that. With the spear, he finds the kill onto Halford. No more Kiva barriers available, and once again, Fury with an opening pick. The Quan Hive launcher so strong, and then the push up the stairwell from I9. The team coordination here from Fury is astounding. Bleed have just been completely flipped over, turned around, and smacked on the bum. Flawless again from Fury as they get their 3rd attacking round in this half, and Bleed are getting taught a lesson.
don't know if I want to double down from your call there. That was... There's something in my mind right now that's... You've put a vision in my mind, a visual in my mind that I did not expect to see tonight. But in essence, you're not wrong. When Fury have looked really good on these attacks, they have been quite clean, concise, the coordination has looked really, really good. Bleed are getting taught a bit of a lesson here in some of these objectives and some of these rounds where they make a small mistake and it is snowballing so quickly, and then they're not able to recover. Last round we see the Monty again allowed to do a lot of damage with a lot of information as well. And with that distraction in play, eyes elsewhere, that leaves other pockets of the defense a little bit weakened, and Fury then exploiting that. So, full credit to Fury.
10 seconds left.
They have already surpassed my expectations in this match.
5 seconds.
And they'll be eager to get some points back after their loss yesterday.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, played quite well. Once again, for the second day in the row, question marks over Bleed. I think, did we maybe overestimate the dominance that they would bring into this particular league? It shouldn't be without question. You go back to last year, and outside of the playoffs of 2023 Stage 1,
Reload.
it's like they basically never lost a game. Like, they were undefeated in the regular season, like 2 stages in a row. Clean sweep in the playoffs for the second stage. I mean, like, you kind of go and look at their numbers. It's quite insane.
I mean, they have a 2-1 record against Fury. That's Bleed. And this map is a very good Bleed map internationally. So I really don't think it was that crazy to say that Bleed were going to run away with this one a little bit. Especially defensively. I think defense, I was going with the expectation 5-1, then we'll see what happens from there. But they have not played like that at the moment. And Fury have very much played some good Siege at the moment.
Yeah, certainly have. Reeves. Oh, I thought he was going to maybe go for a bit of a door peek here. Like Colas on the other side of it. Already quite low. Kind of stranded in office. Nitrocell thrown. But did it get shot? No, it didn't. It got blown up in the end. And a lovely kill onto Dark. Got over aggressive. Adrenal Surge was activated in that moment. So Reeves had to do a little bit more with the SMG-11. Able to come to the foray though. 90 seconds remaining. An advantage for Bleed. Not too often they've been in this winning position to begin a round. 2 more Adrenal Surges available for Crit J. That is a clean shot. Hoven was close though. On that VIP single wall to get the trade immediately onto Crit J, and Reaps will activate. And suddenly now in a 4 versus 2. Surely this is the kind of round you cannot lose. With a very low health Montang.
I'm out. Gotta reload.
60 seconds remaining. I mean, it's down to basically BG Man to just go and pop off here if they're going to have any chance of salvaging this Fury. Otherwise, Bleed will look to tie things up 3-3 to close the half.
Yeah, they didn't let the snowball happen there. Turd, despite losing his life dragon, the rest of the team stepped up in this round. So I played it quite differently to some of the ones we've seen previously. Like Colas, well, he will fall. And quickly after BG Man in the grave, did Bleed do an okay job to somewhat salvage the half. Still far from perfect on a map like Skyscraper where we expected a little more dominance. Turd begging for a kill. He is 0-6 at the moment.
Yeah, and 3-3 is not going to be good enough for the Bleed there on the defense. They've got some work to do now on the attack. For Fury, they're in a position. They're not actually going to go bathroom and bedroom, are they?
Oh, that is...
Wow.
That is epic.
Well, that is something we don't see too often. It's not even considered a tertiary site here on Skyscraper. You just frankly don't see it outside of very rare circumstances. I think we got to cast it once, all throughout 6 Invitational. Incredibly rare sight here. I mean, the main emphasis is very much going to be on defending Office and Exhibition. Up above, the Vert hold will be in play. There's that wonderful shot from Crit J. I mean, had he got that kill onto Hoven, it would have unlocked for the round. They would have got VIP control. So a big kill from Hoven. But yeah, 3-3 scoreline. Great for Fury to get those attacking rounds. Now they can kind of go on the defense. And if they're going to bathroom and bedroom, they're cooking. They're in the kitchen right now, guys. The question is, what, are they going to burn whatever they're cooking up, or is it going to be sublime?
I mean, if you're going to a site like this to open things up, it's showing a lot of trust and faith in your support staff and your team, which have put this strat together. It's not like days of old where you could go for an off-site, catch the attacking comp off guard. Now with attacker repick, Bleed will have their composition that they want to play into this particular setup, or the operators or the site itself. They don't have to be guessing where the objective is going to be to kick things off. So there's a lot of trust that Fury are putting into their team at the moment as a core. Hopefully they've got something hooked up. Tubarão is an intriguing operator pick here, probably to stall out the breach up above. You've got Maestro for info side into chip away drone economy as well. Combo that with the Bandit. These walls should be stalled out, but that actually isn't the case initially. Wow. Turd gets one elsewhere, and with that single wall opened up, Hoven is also given an opportunity to take down Dark. This site is so dependent on stalling out up above for as long as it possibly can because the site itself is very exposed. So this is, yeah, not the best of starts for Fury, but for Bleed, wow, what a statement here in the first minute of round 7.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, again, there's so many hallmarks back to last night, is there not? I mean, you're starting slow. You're looking a little bit shaky. You know, even Turd finally now gets a kill. We know what they're capable of, Bleed, especially on the attack. Just such an aggressive team that can very much overwhelm you, regardless of the map. Suddenly now puts into question Fury's decision to go to said site. Bleed are the kind of team you just are never going to count them out. Even that 3-2 lead for Fury, you don't get too overexcited if you're a Fury fan because you must respect Bleed and what they're capable of. Still on the defense though, you can always bring it back, but another shot, little cheeky push in from Reaps, no one watching the door. And with that, I9 will fall, and surely with that, it should be the round going the way of Bleed Esports. Gritchay over towards the Mez. Gonna just see if there's anyone lurking in drum. He makes the drop down, but no one from Bleed making any kind of mistake, as Asfi will retake this in position. Drops down though. He does actually lose his life. Mentalist at the exact same time found a kill onto Lycolis, and with that site control, Mentalist then doubles down, gets a second in a row, and Bleed will take the lead.
Well, good vibes in the Bleed camp. And in a strike of irony, they kind of took down Fury in a similar fashion to how they struggled defensively themselves with losing those early picks. We didn't really see any value from the Tubarão or the Bandit combination that I think Fury were probably going to try and lean into, installing out the hard breach, and that just weakened the hold so significantly. Ultimately, Bleed actually got such an advantage that they didn't even need to worry about burning out the objective and worry too much about the late round structure. Just had to be careful of the flanks, which they were, and in doing so, they were rewarded. That is only the tertiary side though, so Fury for the next 2 rounds, we expect the next 2 rounds to go back to the finals.
A little bit more time needs to be spent, I think, workshopping that for Fury. Obviously, they'll be a little bit disappointed in how that played out. Credit to Bleed, though. Can't help but feel, as good as Fury have been in this game, you can just never discount Bleed. Which is so, it would be so infuriating for me as if I was playing in this match if I'm Fury, because I'm thinking we're playing so well, everything's going so great, we've had so much go our way, and yet we're down 3-4. Like, it just doesn't feel like they deserve to be down 3-4 right now. Fortunately for Fury, they're still going to be on the defense for the remainder of this half. It gets them into a position that's going to be best suited to, eventually try and steal this game. But man, you can quickly lose some confidence if Bleed just start to pile on attacking round after attacking round. It can very much fall away quickly. I9 just thought maybe for a moment might get aggressive over towards bot black on the window, but he thinks better of it, makes his way back up above. Does have the barbed wire there, as Asfi's going to send a drone in, of which only 4 remain at the 2-minute mark. No Solus in play either, so I'm not sure what's happening here, but Bleed are just throwing drones away for fun.
I think it's going to be a full black stairs hit, right? So you have the Nomad air jabs to try and ward off the retake through barbecue and restaurant. Asfi's probably going to play outside black door eventually, and then look to try and squeeze I9 out of this position. He does have keeper barriers though to support, and there's no Flores here from Bleed, and also a lack of general explosives really, unless they're going to try and use the Capital to space that out. So we'll see. Black stairs obviously only one small piece of the larger puzzle. They don't need to worry about side itself, but it's going to be a big piece at that. And Fury should sense that quite quickly, that this is going to be a black stairs hit, because there's been absolutely no noise over on the exhibition side of the map.
Yeah, it's kind of like no information leads to information. at the very top level. That's very much the way these players are going to kind of look at this game. I9, a very critical piece defensively for Fury. Certainly the best operator to kind of defend his position. He peeks behind the keeper barrier, goes for the headshot kill onto Hoven. Really nicely done from I9. Replays gas, but oh, he turned away.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? I'm so confused. What, am I seeing things? No, Reeps, he pushed back because of the gas bait, but he could have got shot by I9.
Yeah, it was flames.
Both of them have just fallen off each other.
Yeah, it's really awkward. I thought Reeps was going to be able to get that pick, but not to be. 4v4, 40 seconds. Crit Jaden and I'll rotate around. Turd is watching for this, though. Anticipating some aggression here from the defense. Crit J will lose this. There you go. So with 30 seconds, Bleed get a free advantage for the execute.
Oh, there's 2 for you, Ted. Start to build that confidence back up. Not good signs for Fury. Yeah, and losing I9 there now means Black Stairs control. Reeps on the Capital can push forward. Turd in behind Montang of Asphy. There's not a lot of time, but they've got best position now here for default plants. Smoke, screwing the vision. Lovely headshot from Reeps.
Oh, below.
Nitrocell from below. Could win the round. No, misses the mark. Kit has to stay down here. Well, they get the kills anyway. Clearly in that moment, Fury understanding they needed to kind of take below and put pressure from below, but once Bleed had site control, they were able to fully play around Black Stairs, and that was really their mission from the onset of that round. And eventually it was their win condition that got them the round. 5-3 scoreline for Bleed, 2 attacking rounds to begin the half. Exhibition and office now for Fury, but they are looking a little shaky here after a significantly good start to this game. And again, somewhat similar to yesterday, Bleed are now bouncing back.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's probably where we see Bleed at their best, is with these sort of snappy set plays, and you know, they did a good job to fight for Black Stairs control. Turd, who obviously isn't stacking kills at the moment on that flank quad but they find a kill. And even if BGMN there had have hit the Nitro Cell, the Night Plant, whatever, even if got 2 kills and they couldn't re-attempt the plant for whatever reason, Bleed still had the presence of mind, and with a couple of seconds to go, got the kill anyway, down below. So they had their bases covered, they did a good job fighting for that control, and they kind of simplified the map. Sometimes on that particular objective you can get sucked into the exhibition clear, which takes a lot of time and resources as well. And with drones low, Bleed went for the percentage play around that Monty. Did quite a good job of clearing it. And they're applying pressure now. It's a very similar story to the first half, where we're going in with the expectation that defense is going to be supreme, and it's just not the case.
Yeah, it's always fun when that plays out, though. You know, it's kind of our job to obviously say, you look at the stats, you look at the numbers, this is the way this map plays out. We all know what the meta is like when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege at the moment. Defense, defense, defense. It's an easy one to kind of ascertain and think, okay, well, 3-3 at the half, Fury going to the defense, you put 1 and 1 together, you should get 2. Right now we're getting like 43. And Bleed, obviously kind of just flipping the narrative completely, and Skyscraper is apparently now attacker-sided. I don't know at this point. Throw your hands in the air and just take a guess, but I mean, clearly right now, you kind of look at both halves. Fury's ability on the attack to win those entry points was what got them rounds. For Bleed, it's their ability to get into the building and then eventually win executes on the site. Well, a 2-round differential now, and for Bleed, 2 rounds away from finding their second win of the stage. And for the second time in a row, it would be from, you know, a bit of a minor setback to begin. Yeah, his single wall opened up, as that got a bit janky. Half health as well for Crit J. Renal Surge activated by Turd to just bring back some health for Reeps. As now they open up the office main breach.
Waldo stalled out with the mute jammer. Bandit trick then from I9, so that's some good reactive defense from Fury. 5 versus 5 now, minute 20. Reeps getting to work down below, trying to dislodge his defense, seeing if maybe he can find a kill. Asphy to poke elsewhere, but there's actually a mirror window facing towards T room. Reeps does eventually find that kill, and with that smoke, Dark now forced to make a decision. Does he stay or does he kill back? Gets caught a little bit in the middle and may now look to hold drum, but will likely be under pressure soon. Keeper barriers though to create a buffer. Oh, Mentalist really gets that kill, but Dark able to escape and plucks one on his free entry to the objective.
Yeah, good little follow-up as well from like Colas, and just like that, the round can even up a little bit. Dark's still quite low. Bit of time remaining for Bleed. Jump control. Along with that, Mezzanine fully under control now for Bleed. That's where the push is going to be coming from. No one really on the exterior outside of the site.
Drone activated.
One more flash available for Reaps. Drone potentially to send him in. It does not get very far though. And at this point, no real time for drones. 2 nitrocells available, by the way, as well. Mentalist does make his way over towards VIP. There is one of those nitrocells. Zaspi in towards Exhibition. One close left. He went prone. And then the shot from the other side was I9. Reaps was able to get one. There's no time, though. You got to get the kills. There's no kit. And there's no chance at that point. Reaps did get 2 kills at the end. One of them, though, was a team kill onto Mentalist.
Yeah, a little bit better there from Fury. They had just enough tools to be able to stall out that push. Bleed through the mid-round, that rotation through towards T ultimately proved to be a little bit costly. And it was only a fraction of a second in it. Mentalist almost gets the kill for free in through drum, and that would have dislodged that position with so much more ease. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't the case, so time drained, made that push through into the objective late very, very challenging.
I guess
Fury played into it nicely, and yeah, looks like I'm going to assume a technical rehost here. In fact, I just got a Uplay notification that like Colossus has relaunched the game, so I'm tipping it's him.
So 4-5. Fury able to offset a little bit of that momentum that Bleed were very much building, and then even into that round, opening 2 kills, brought it back very quickly though, mind you. It's not a case of, you know, Bleed having a 5-on-3 advantage for a long period of time and having that be sustained. It was, you know, very quickly turned back into a 3-3. Been a good game so far though from both teams, really on the attack for both teams. I mean, defensively it's been quite, I think, questionable. That was the incidental team kill. For what it's worth, that team kill was completely irrelevant at the end. As you can see, there was 0.3 seconds left. I don't know why we are replaying this like 20 million times.
I just want Reaps to feel bad.
But it means nothing. It literally means nothing.
Yeah, again though, Fury were leaning into that win condition of time really nicely in that particular round. There's been a couple of occasions where red time has potentially posed a threat for Bleed. Probably none more so than that one. And again, I think it backtracks to probably the mid-round with the rotation onto the other side of the T room. Portion of the map, we had the pre-placed mirror in combination with the Izami. Just made it a little bit difficult for Bleed to unlock. And then, as is naturally the case, actually getting back into the site and applying pressure back on the objective proved to be a challenge. 3 members rejoining. Not entirely sure what happened for 4 players to need a DC, but nonetheless, hopefully we're back in soon. Bathroom and bedroom is once again being teased here by the defense. We were a little bit critical of that decision last time. I suppose it was excitement that then turned into disappointment because the way in which they played it, and especially the extension top floor, was quite poor. Maybe they will see a bit of a switch up in terms of the wall denial or their ability to respond to the walls being opened, which will aid them in being a more compact defensive unit. Because unfortunately last time walls got opened quite early, they gave away free picks, and it was very, very easy for Bleed to convert them.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much longer. It looks as if they're back in. I mean, Mentalist obviously gives his ready check, but I mean, it's Fury that need to give theirs, and that's exactly what Crit J is going to be able to do for us. For all intents and purposes, whenever you see 5 players leave the server, it feels like it's always going to be a little bit of a longer wait time, but that was pretty quick. Nicely done for Fury to just obviously resolve whatever issue was plaguing them and straight back into the 10th round. T-Room and Karaoke down, which is obviously one of the, if not most primary sites when it comes to defensive skyscraper. Really good opportunity now presents itself for Fury to tie this game back up once again. Onto the Solus as well for I9, which is really doubling down on what's actually been really good drone defense from Fury so far. We saw again that last round, we didn't really have that many remaining. So
5 seconds left. Insertion.
I mean, coupled with the mute as well, makes it a little bit difficult here for Bleed.
Attackers are moving out to locate
Not really too much of a change up in terms of the lineup that they are bringing for this 10th round. It does come to Bleed. Montang. How much focus will go to Black Stairs? Hard to say with the way they've spawned in. May very well lead to a bit more of sweep across. We'll see.
Reinforcing wall.
Right now, this game is living up to the expectations, which is good. No real beatdown.
Setting up a sequential
Both teams playing quite well, and this really should be what is expected between the two of them.
Another mute stall into bandit trick for Fury. So that last time around, and we'll see it once again. So good job in denying that and fortifying the exhibition push. The most important thing to note here, though, from Bleed is they are not bringing the Monty. Now that, to me, indicates that we are not going to see a Black Stairs position. That said, we are still seeing early focus over towards Restaurant, Reaps on Buck to probably vert out Karaoke and or T. So are we still going to see a Black Stairs-centric push without the shield? It's going to be interesting to see. Could well be the case, especially with Exhibition fortified. Dark is inside a sushi bar. Reaps needs to be very, very careful that he does not get flanked. It's Asfi elsewhere though, so fun first.
Oh, in a second as well in quick succession. Asfi's been good for that tonight.
Oh!
Dark, though, does somewhat similar. And even better with that second flick headshot onto Reaps. Asfi's quite low. But he does have those adrenal surges. He can only do so much, though. Especially from the position he finds himself in right now. Again, another 3-on-3. That frag grenade, though, just short of the mark.
A bomb has been located.
Just say impact, but either way, Colas still at least has sight control, along with I9 over towards T-Room. Holven and Asfi. Double stack over towards Drum, looking to open up makeup and turn in towards Geisha. Off the back of that final adrenal surge, they are very much looking to take Geisha, but Dark down below has an angle. Tap, tap, but he doesn't find much. It's a flesh wound into Holven and gives away that first floor position.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They now know that he hasn't retaken up main, and if he does, they'll have a player posted up to watch that retake attempt. 40 seconds, angles in towards T. What exactly are they going to go for here, Bleed, in terms of plant position? Will they even go for said plant? They may not need to. 4 for Asfi and Dark in a 1v3.
He's on for the ace. Who said the LMGs are dead? Well, they brought back. And Turt, though, will deny the ace as he gets a kill for himself with the lovely stair hold. I don't think Asfi will mind. It's all about the team. It's all about winning these rounds. And Bleed now get themselves match point. And even despite the fact that once again it was a very close round between these two teams, for a large portion of that round, you know, that kind of 3-on-3, Dark was able to get a very lovely double kill to offset the start that Asfi brought in for Bleed. Fury just could not really do anything. It was just kind of sitting back on site. They had one real win condition, which was Dark, first floor, pantry and bar. Took a couple of shots at the Holven, gave away his position, and with that, then the round kind of fell apart.
That was really nice from Dark. His patience was rewarded. So too was the patience of our observing team. I know Sky really wanted to stay on him there. And, yeah. Patience rewarded. Great double. I believe they're just too proficient elsewhere. And look, I mean, the storyline is very much set now, I think, after the first week. And it's one that has probably continued on from last year. That you cannot count Bleed out really from any position. Even when on the back foot, even if they may not have the best start inside of a map or even as far as a series as well. Don't take it for granted that it's going to result in an easy win. You have to continue to respect them and play at your very best. Fury simply haven't been able to maintain the pressure that they displayed in the first half.
Definitely being the better team as we've progressed. I mean, Fury came out with a great start. Love their exterior gameplay, but as we've gotten on, kind of like again yesterday, Bleed just get better and better in these matches. It's certainly turning into a big strength of theirs. Maybe the slight weakness being they do start a little slow. Once they get going, they really get going. I mean, even Turd, very small example, but started 0-6, 3-1 since then. I mean, only so many rounds that have played out, but he's been able to kind of offset a pretty statistical bad game.
Attackers have located a bomb.
This one's not over just yet. Fury will back themselves in on the defense. Head available momentarily. but only momentarily. Little bob back up, red ping information, pressure aplenty in towards Lounge from Reaps, and eventually Dark will succumb to said pressure. You can just feel the way in which Fury are holding their positions here, that they don't look comfortable, that they can sense the pressure coming their way. Turd will make it 4, now 5 as he doubles down. Fury falling apart despite a strong start in this game. Turd is activated, and he knows where the last player is, and he says, this is mine. From 06 to 7-7 for Turdstar, and for Bleed, another slow burn eventually ignites into a massive flame. They win their second game off the stage. 7-4, how fitting.
Yeah, fantastic win there from Bleed, who now put themselves potentially in that top spot now for Asia, not just in terms of the discussion and power rankings, but the standings themselves. Very solid result, completely tearing apart Fury on those tertiary sites, most importantly, right? Fury tried to throw a spanner in the works, round 1, let's go to bathroom, capitulated. Final round of the game, let's do the same. Again, fell apart. Bleed were allowed into super powerful positions, didn't put a foot wrong. Fury did not land any trades throughout that particular round as well. And so it just made things so challenging for them. And when the heat was on, Fury just weren't up to the level that they needed to be.
5 of the last 6 rounds won by Bleed Esports, really again highlighting the strong wave of momentum that this team can encapsulate. They won 7 rounds in a row yesterday to take down Hissib Warriors, and again emulated that today despite the slow start against Fury. They were able to eventually win out 7-4 against their local rivals. For Bleed, it's the perfect start, 2-0. For Fury, it's back to the drawing board though, as they succumb to their second loss within 2 days.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.